everyone, this is the Lovin Show, and today we're joined by Ghida Arnaout, also known as Monkey See, Monkey Do. How are you doing? Welcome to the Lovin Show.
Thank you. Finally, I'm on this show. I've been waiting for this to happen for a long time.
I know, it's so funny. We've been back and forth a lot, and now that we're actually doing it, you're not even in Dubai. Where are
No,
you now? Where are you
I'm
self-isolating?
actually stuck in London.
Was that
Yeah, I came
intentional?
here. I was invited to the premiere of the movie Mulan,
Uh-huh.
and and then after that they did the lockdown and they closed the airport, so I got stuck here. But I'm okay because the weather is amazing.
Wow. So are you staying with friends or family? Had you
Yeah,
any
yeah. I'm
idea?
staying with my fiance's cousin. He's here as well.
Ah,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, it's glad to hear. I'd love to know how you're doing in the self-isolation period, but before we get into it, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you're from originally, and everything else?
Yeah, so I'm from Lebanon, and what I'm so many things. I can't even like focus on one thing. But right now, me and Rami, we are the founders of our company, Life Happens Outdoors, where we lead adventure trips, and it's a community for people who want to try the outdoors and to climb and learn more about the outdoors. I've been in Dubai since 2010. I used to work as a dietitian. I actually studied nutrition and dietetics, and I worked 7 years in it. And then I changed careers completely, and I was working in Saatchi and Saatchi as a social media manager.
Mhm.
This is after I started Monkey See, Monkey Do. And then I quit my job in August 2018 to focus like solely on Life Happens Outdoors.
Amazing. And there's so many things going on there. We definitely want to talk about
Yeah.
happens outdoors and your passion for outdoors. But while you are self-isolating, I know that you're also you do publicly speak about your struggles with anxiety. And I'm just wondering, how are you finding self-isolating? And do you have a message for other people that might be struggling?
In the beginning, it was really, really, really hard. Like it was a mix of emotions, and I'm sure everyone was feeling the same. And I was having a little bit of cabin fever. Just the thought that I cannot go outside. The good thing is in London we can still go outside, but I didn't want to because I was really scared.
Hmm.
But then I focused on meditating every day, and I'm trying to eat a little bit better. So because food is very important for your mental health. People don't really focus on that, but it's really, really important. So I'm taking my supplements. In the beginning, I wasn't forcing myself to do anything. Like if I felt I want to be in bed and watch series all day, I was doing it. Especially when in the beginning, as you saw, everyone like if you look on social media, it was like everyone doing workouts and I don't know what and baking. I'm like, what? I don't even feel like getting out of bed.
Yeah,
And that's okay. The important thing is just listen to what you want, what your body wants, and just do it. Don't get
interesting.
affected and compare yourself.
100%. I
This
feel like there could be a
group of us,
small yeah, there could be a small pressure there with when we see people overachieving and what are we supposed to do. But you mentioned that you've worked as a dietitian and you mentioned you're just trying to feed your body the right way. What is feeding your body the right way at this time? If you're isolating at home and you're not leaving, like you
well,
said.
I'm not telling you I'm not eating ice cream and pizza when I want to,
Yeah.
but I'm taking supplements, like I'm taking my probiotics. It's very important to take care of your gut health.
Hmm.
This is very important because gut health affects your mental health as well. So I try to eat nutritious food. So I'm eating vegetables and fruits every single day. It's so important. And I always like eat brown bread and brown rice, for example. It's these small tweaks that you can do in your diet. So it's not a diet. It's just eating nutritious food to have like a better well-being.
Hmm. Keeping it healthy and then maybe busting into an ice cream tub every now and
Like
then.
I stopped caffeine, for example, because I know caffeine makes me and many people anxious, and I replaced it with herbal teas like chamomile, lavender.
Amazing. Interesting. And jumping back into your love for the outdoors, and you said like you went from maybe a corporate job into just fulfilling that passion. When did
Yeah,
your passion kind of originally start? Like what age? Was it something you were doing growing up, or where did you grow up?
I grew up in Sidon, which is like a small city in Lebanon, and actually this was never something that anyone have done, or do. being like an outdoorsy or even sporty, but I've always been like, when I was growing up, I used to always be like a tomboy, and I wanted to play football and do everything that guys did, basically. And I always had this adventurous side of me. Like, I liked adrenaline activity, full activities. And but I never really did anything about it, you know, because it wasn't easy. There was nothing around me. And then when I was in university, I became a member of the hiking club, and this is when I started hiking for the first time, and I loved it. And but then I moved to Dubai, and in Dubai I was just doing some sports. I started wakeboarding. I liked trying new things, and wakeboarding was the only thing that stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2013, I had a very bad injury where I fell and I fractured my hip, and I was in a wheelchair for 4 months. And then after that, I couldn't walk. I was depending on my friends to do everything, and I was really depressed, and I lost my job. It was a really, really very bad time for me. And then the minute I can walk again, I decided to book a ticket and go to Nepal on my own, because I wanted to just disconnect from everything and everyone I know. And I saw how it is there, and the nature and the mountains, and I just fell in love with it. And after like end of 2013, because I was still not allowed to do any activities, I went camping with some people in Dubai, and I tried rock climbing, and I just fell in love with it. Like, I just knew this is something that I will always do. And the outdoors became like my therapy, and that's why I was so onto it, you know, especially when you're living in a city and you're like working in a place where you're like confined. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Exactly. So I just had this reconnection with nature, and I saw how important it is. And this is when I started sharing my journey on social media, because I wanted people to like really, really, really get back this connection with nature, because I felt how important it is and how much it helped me. So I just wanted to share this passion.
It's amazing. But what you did is something that many people would aspire to, many people would dream of doing, but would never actually do, which is leaving the kind of the expected job and jumping into something that you're truly passionate about. So it's amazing. What was the kind of defining moment where you felt prepared to do it? Or was there a moment?
Actually, like when I decided to quit my job, it took a lot of planning. So it wasn't just a spontaneous decision. Actually, like it took 2 years of me planning and saving, because you cannot just leave your job if you didn't save money and had some kind of a support, you know, like if things don't work out, you need to have something. And I really don't think this is for everyone. Like people think it's easy to just quit your job, follow your passion, you know, this is what's trendy now. But some people like a 9-to-5 job. They feel more comfortable. This is their comfort zone, and it's great if it's like if they're good with it, if they're fine with it. But me, like personally, it's always been in my personality. Like I don't like someone being an authority on me and telling me what to do. This was my main problem. And as well, like just being stuck there in the office where you don't even have the freedom or flexibility to work from wherever. And now I really hope after this quarantine, like companies realize that people are actually more productive if they work from wherever they want. Like you don't have to just be in an office.
Maybe even more creative.
Yeah, exactly. So I just, and at that point, like when I quit, Life Happens Outdoors was almost a year old, and I was going on trips on my leave days. And we were adding more and more trips, and I just told Rami that, you know what, I think it's time for me to just quit, and both of us focus on this. And so I did that.
Can you tell us a brief background about what Life Happens Outdoors is?
So in the beginning, Life Happens Outdoors was an app, actually, that connects outdoorsy people together. And when we did our first trip, it was a way to fund this app. And we actually did this first trip because me and Rami were going on these adventure trips just as a couple, and people were seeing that and telling us like, can you please take us with you? Can you plan a trip for us? So I told Rami, you know what, let's try and plan a trip and see if anyone would book. And we planned the trip to Kilimanjaro and it was fully booked. So this is when we're like, okay, people want this. And then after a while, we decided that, you know what, maybe we should change our business model and remove the app completely and just focus on doing these trips.
Amazing.
So for now, like we have around 20 different trips, and our main aim is to bring the outdoors closer to everyone. You know, like we don't want you to look and think that, oh, only a Red Bull athlete can climb this mountain, or a GoPro athlete, or I don't know what. No, we want everyone to have this experience. So we wanted to create like a community. And this is how it started.
And is it for people in Dubai or people internationally, or
Everywhere.
so people can kind of meet you at a destination? And you're running 20 a year. That's amazing.
So you book the trip online, and our price includes everything from airport to airport, like everything, transportation, food, the whole experience, the guides, everything. You just have to bring yourself to the airport where you need to meet us, and we pick you up, and this is where the journey starts.
Amazing. I feel like there's a lot of kind of adrenaline lovers and hiking lovers in the UAE who would find a lot of benefit from this. But I want to talk.
We also have a lot of people who have never done anything related to the outdoors before.
So there's trips for all levels.
Exactly.
Cool.
So each trip is different, of course. You have to have a little bit of fitness to make it more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. But we always state like how challenging the trip is.
Very cool.
And we advise you, like this is the most important thing.
Yeah. Well, I feel like people would know going kind of what levels they're at, and they would prepare in that way. But I want to talk to you about how I know you. So I remember maybe it was a few years ago, I saw a photo of you doing a photo shoot, kind of hanging off the side of a cliff in a beautiful dress. And then I also remember we covered a story about you. You were climbing a mountain in Nepal for underprivileged kids in Lebanon. Both very cool stories, but I'm just wondering for you, do you have any, and also your Instagram is amazing, by the way, kind of, you've obviously been to a lot of places. Do you have any career highlights that kind of stick out for you as special moments?
Yeah, actually, I had my own adventure travel TV show. That was one of the best things I have done. I did it with Quest Arabia, it closed down now, unfortunately, but it was a TV station which was a venture between Imagination and Discovery Channel. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I did it while I was working at Saatchi & Saatchi. So basically, I took all my leave for the whole year to do this show. And it was great. Like, it was always been my dream to have this TV show doing crazy stuff. So I actually achieved this dream.
How incredible. That's amazing. And you mentioned earlier about leaving your job isn't for everyone. And I kind of said there that your Instagram looks amazing, but obviously there's kind of a lot of challenges behind making Instagram look amazing that people don't see. So I kind of want to talk about, for you, what kind of struggles do you face daily? What kind of challenges should people kind of expect if they followed a career path like yours?
Well, like for example, like in the beginning, when I always had this pressure to take nice pictures for Instagram, but then eventually you realize that, you know what, no, I just want to have this experience, and whatever picture I get, I'm gonna share. I don't care anymore. I feel now Instagram is more about being real and actually showing who you are, instead of just taking picture perfect having picture perfect posts. And another thing is that, you know, people look at you and say, oh, you're so lucky, you travel so much. But for example, like, it's really, really hard, especially with Life Happens Outdoors. Like, we're traveling all the time, and our trips are not exactly sitting on the beach and tanning. It's actually like physically pressuring. So last year, which was the year after I quit my job, was maybe one of the hardest years of my life, mentally and physically. But I don't regret it. Yeah,
it's interesting because obviously from the outside it looks perfection, and you're saying it was the most challenging physically. How many people are on these trips that you take, and do both you and Rami go on each one?
We go on. We both go on each one, and we usually take maximum 12 people because we want people to have an intimate experience with the other people on the trip. Like we feel like if it's more than that, it becomes crazy. But we have some trips where we take more people because a lot of people want to go, like Peru, Machu Picchu, and Bhutan.
Okay, so
People,
you're not just going the region, you're going well beyond. That's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Amazing. Before we sign off, I would just like to ask you, do you set 5-year goals? Do you set 1-year goals? Are they business or personal?
Not at all.
What about maybe mountains you'd like to climb one day, or do you just kind of?
No, I just want to become a better climber, you know, and mountain climbing is different than rock climbing. It's like, I don't know if you know the difference.
Well, mountain climbing, you're holding on to, no, rock climbing, you're holding on to the rock, and mountain, you're.
A sport, yeah, and mountain climbing is either hiking or mountaineering.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, actually, I tried alpine mountaineering for the first time, which is, it requires technical skills. It's different than just hiking to reach the summit of a mountain. And I fell in love with it. And I think I would like to do more of that.
Amazing. And for Life Happens Outdoors, do you have a goal for the business, yourself and Rami?
Well, of course we do. Unfortunately, now like everything stopped, which is really hard for us. But we're trying to focus as much as we can on 2021 for now, because at some point airports are going to open again and people want to be in the outdoors and want to experience. So this is our focus.
Absolutely. I 100% agree that as soon as permissible, as soon as permitted, we'll be out exploring the outdoors once again.
Exactly. Our goal is to have this community of people who love the outdoors, who share this passion, and we just want to bring the outdoors closer to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an amazing goal, and it was so exciting to hear more about it because obviously I know you, but I didn't know enough about Life Happens Outdoors. So thank you so much for joining the show from London, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. But I hope that when you're back in Dubai, we could do it a little bit better. Maybe set up in the office. You can come visit us.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Okay, guys, that was the Lovin Show. We are back same time, same place next week. Have a good one. Stay safe and wash your hands. Bye.
Bye.